it's imperative for the button combo lock. So, basics out of the way, done. So, let's talk button combo lock. You've seen a combo lock before, and I guess we'll start with something easy. So we'll head upstairs to the second lab. You've seen a combo lock before. Example of a combo lock would basically be let me do this the easy way. Alright, let me do this the easy way, so bear with me. Basic combo lock. You've seen this before. This is nothing new. Standard basic combo lock has levers. It would basically mean, power to open the door would not happen until the levers were in the right position. I could hit this one all I want, but unless I have the right combination, which happens to be this one, it does not power it up. Okay? Basic combo lock. Just a second, guys. Alright, everyone. Sorry about that. So, let's get down to the nitty-gritty basics of this button. Now, unlike the switches, which are pretty straightforward, this is a little more tricky, because these are buttons. So, the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to make a see here, one more. I am going to make a 4-button combo, and whoa, that went wrong. Oops, that's only 3. Alright, we'll just add one over here. Okay, so I have 4 buttons here, which will act as my combo. What's great about this is a little more difficult than your standard lever combo. And just FYI, you can totally link these two systems up. For example, our armory has the 3 lever combo system, and then you push a button. If we take out the button and put in this button combo system, you would have to get both of them right. So just something to think about. So let's go ahead and get this right. So let's see, we have one here, there, there, and there. And just to make this easy, so we know when we have the combo right for this test, we're going to just set this up. So there's a little indicator light of whether or not we have the combo correct. And I'm just going to swap out this dirt. Okay. So this basically comes down to much like any other combo system, but since this is much different, we have to do actual memory cells. And what's really interesting is how the combo works. So actually the thing we need to figure out is the memory cells. The memory cells actually determine your combo, because how many memory cells you have will determine it, if that makes sense. So if you have only 1 memory cell, then obviously your combo would only be 1 button. Just have to push the right button, which isn't very good. But if you have 2 memory cells, then you'd have to get 2 out of these. What's great is that if we set it up properly, we could actually have it when you hit the wrong button combo, that it could actually reset the entire thing. Unlike the switch one, this makes it much more difficult to break than just guessing which levers it was until it opened, because you can't just go like this. It just wouldn't work. So here is the dealio. We have our and. Our and's going to go right here. Hopefully I have enough room for all this. So there's our and. Just like that. So we have a little inverter here to power our indication light. This is just to show that we have it on. In reality, it would open doors or something. And this is the actual and. The and is what gets hooked up to our cells. So we're basically going to set up a cell for each area here, for each of these buttons. So I'm going to set up a cell here, and I'm going to set up a cell here. Now, this doesn't give us a lot of room to work with, but we'll do what we can. Okay. So there are our cells. And they are all set up. So now we need to figure out our actual combination. So let's say I want this one to be a proper combo to set this cell, okay? But this one would actually reset it. Okay? This is not exactly the most ideal space here. As you can see. Yeah, I knew that was going to happen. So I'm going to actually give this a little... Don't think this is going to work. Yeah, we just don't have enough room here. Alright, guys. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and just move everything. We're going to go to the big lab and do it there. Or we might at least do a smaller version. Yeah, we'll just move this all to the lab. To lab number 3. Okay. So let's move over to lab number 3. Because it has a lot more space. And it's just not enough room up there. So we can actually set this up properly. So what I'll do... Okay. Oh, stop! The wife attacks again. Let's see what she wants. Just a second, guys. Alright, guys, sorry about that. So, again, this is just our indicator light. So here's our actual keypad. Now, I'm doing this as a straight keypad. You could totally stack this if you're comfortable doing so. If you're not, then you may have issues. Shoot. You know, for the sake of argument, no, I want to do 4. Damn it. There's just not enough room here. Fine, we'll move the indicator light. And this is why you really don't want to do it this way, because you're just not going to have enough room. Looks like there might be enough room for... Gotta remove the ladder. In the way. All will live. So, we'll just do it this way. Now, I want to try to position the memory cells in line with these so they'll connect well or easily. It'll just make things much easier. So what you're going to see here is we're going to kind of come out like that, and then to make things easier, so you can honestly kind of see where I'm going already with these. As you see, I switched this. I didn't want that. So let me turn that back on. There we go. Connect that. Connect that. So those are our switches. And then these would be the switches that basically turn that back on. Trying to go the right way here. That'll work. Alright, so that connects to that, and that would basically reset it. That one connects to there. Big bad zombies outside as usual. Don't understand, we're doing science! Okay, so those would reset. Now, if we wanted either of these buttons to do it, all we gotta do... Ooh, it's high enough. Do that. So either one of them does it, automatically resets both. Now things become a little tricky, because the way we have this set up means basically this is the actual power for saying whether or not it's locked, and because of the way we have this set up, it could cause issues. So yeah, not an easy thing to fix, and that's mainly because of the way I have the memory cells set up. It's not ideal. So we're going to try to fix this. Hopefully. If I can think of a good way to fix this. So, let me think. It's tricky. Tricky. What we actually need to do is, instead of it hooking to that one, have it hook to the other ones. We kind of need to swap these, oddly enough. This should work. So we're just turning it the other way. Because remember, power in will turn it off. So there we go. This will work a little better. It'll be a little tricky over here, but over here it's going to work just beautifully. So the next step, we may not have enough. We've got to make sure we have enough dirt here. So the next step, of course, is doing the and. So I'm going to set up the and right here. And the first part of the and is basically that. So that's pretty simple. The second part of the and, of course, needs to go over to here. And this is where, again, things get a little tricky. Because the way this is set up and the way this is, we need to try to get this over here without interfering with all this other stuff. Like I said, tricky. But should not be impossible. So what I'm thinking of is if I go one more step here, it's going to hit that. If I go step over here, it's going to hit that. So basically you would normally come down to two options. Go under. And we could totally go under, but they're in the lab. So I don't know if going under is not an option. I didn't think it would be. Okay. So we have to improvise. For now, we're going to remove all this redstone. And when we get to here, I'm actually going to have it come up like that. All we got to do is keep it from touching. And I think we can get away with it if we do this right. This is going to be interesting. I don't think that's going to work. I've got a brilliant idea. Let me try this. I have no idea if this is going to work, guys, but if it does, it'll be brilliant. No, this isn't going to work. Of course. Of course. Remember, we can do the input on top, and it works just the same. So instead of doing it like that, all we got to do is this, and that's it. It's done. Oh, I am brilliant. So, again, we were overcomplicating things, and this can happen a lot with redstone. You got to step back and think. this is a good deal because we really do want to keep it simple as possible. So all we need to do is this. It works exactly the same as if we had it coming in from the side. There is no difference. Remember our example. No difference. Just to prove it. No difference. So that's exactly what we're doing. Instead of it coming in from the side, it's just coming in from the top. And then the actual connection here just goes all the way around to the AND. So our proper combination is this one and this one. Basically the first others. If we hit any other button, it resets it. So you see we hit our first button, hits the right one, turns the first AND off. If we come back around, we hit this one, hits the second AND, turns our indicator light on. The combo is correct. Thank you. Smoochies. Love you, sweetheart. Thank you. It's very, very... I know. That's what you really wanted to hear with Redstone. So, as you can see, our AND's all set up. To easily reset it, here's the beautiful part about this system. We don't need a reset switch inside. All we got to do is come out here and push the wrong button. And that's it. It automatically turns it all back off. As you can see, both are back off, completely reset. Very simple. So your real combination comes down to your memory cells here. The memory cells determine the combination. So for how many memory cells you have, you're going to need double the amount of buttons. Basically 2 buttons per cell. So if you want a 4-cell combination, you're going to need 8 buttons. Now that may seem like impossible, and doing it this way, straight side here, is, but if you actually have it in a keypad format, or something close to it, where it actually alternates, instead of it being straight to the side here, you could totally do it. Totally. You could easily get 3 buttons top, 3 buttons the bottom, and that's what our actual combo is going to be. It's going to be a 6. So it's basically going to be 3. It's going to be a 3-cell instead of 2, and that's actually 6. And it's basically going to be 3 buttons stacked on top of each other. But yeah, in order to get the right combo, just hit the right buttons, and it turns the light on. You hit the wrong button, resets the entire system. So again, I hit this button, and then I hit this button, resets the system. So it doesn't matter. I hit this button, and I hit this button, resets the entire system. I hit this button. I could do this all day long, and it wouldn't matter. Now let's say they tried to get fancy and do it this way. Okay, that ain't it. What about... Okay, that ain't it. What about... Okay, that ain't it. You can see this is a much harder... Oh, the light was on there for a second, but they missed it because they weren't expecting it. It's a really good lock system, and that's what we're going to use for our vault. And like I said, you could totally put this together with the other combinations lock system using the levers. Like I said, all you got to do is remove the button press like I have in my armory and just replace it with a keypad instead. And like I said, you would not require a switch to reset. The best part is nobody can see the combination unless they see you actually punch it. It's really cool. It's a neat idea I had about it, and it's really neat to see it actually work. And this is the system that we will be using, like I said, in the vault, when I make the vault. So, very cool. I mean, it's very simple. It's really not that difficult. The most important thing to understand, of course, is the memory cells. Once you understand how they work, and you work them out, it's not very difficult. So, the big important thing about the vault is it's going to need a lot of room for this lock. Most of this log will be underground. It'll actually take a few levels probably. So most of it will be kind of on the same floor as the vault, and most of it will be underneath it. This will provide as much room as possible. So that's why I'm thinking, and just from seeing this prototype here, it's very obvious that the room we have is not going to be quite big enough. So I will have to make it bigger. But it's still really, really cool to see this work. And like I said, you can totally reposition these buttons. For example, this one could have been here, and I could have had this one up higher, and it actually would have made it easier to get over to here to do it. So that's an example of what the combo lock system is going to look like. I am not going to record me building it though, guys, because I've recorded this for you. So hopefully you'll take this as a nice tutorial example of it, able to create your own, and then when I'm done with it, I'll go ahead and show you guys how it looks and how it works. And probably the hardest part is taking an example of a system like this and converting it into the space and area that you're using. That's why I try to make the labs a certain size and not really, really huge, because I don't like free big form areas for redstone testing, because it's not realistic to what you're going to be working with. So I think we've all heard the spider enough. And I think you all enjoy that enough. So I'm going to let you go for just a second, but I will be back, so stay tuned.